How's it going, folks? I feel like making a mod tonight, so how about we do one? I'm gonna go to mods. There's this Stardeus mod template that I have just been working on, so I'm gonna use that as a basis. I'm gonna open it here through this open button, and I'm gonna step one folder away from it. Now I will probably just grab the folder here and make a copy of it. Just copy paste. And we're gonna make it a system. What could that system do? Let's see. What could the system do? I have no idea yet. Just thinking.
3 days later.
It will start fires randomly every, say, hour in game time. Let's just see if we can make a system like this. It's a very dumb example, but it will show you how to make a mod. Usually you would make things like that, like starting fires through story events. We're gonna cover story events at some other point, but this time I just want to make a system, and we'll see how systems work. We'll see how they are hooking into the game internal clock and how we can make them act on periodic basis. So let's go ahead and rename this to let's call this maybe mod-Firestarter. I don't know. Yeah, mod Firestarter sounds great. So the first thing I will do here is I'm gonna open everything in code. And this will be my... yeah, this is my mod. I'm gonna start as always with mod info. Might want to make it bigger for you. So ID will be Firestarter. Firestarter starts fires randomly. Game version 0696. Dependencies core, all good. And then I want to delete everything that doesn't need to be here. So we're going to delete config. We're going to delete definitions. We're going to delete graphics. Libraries, we need that. Object, this is internal stuff for compiling. Translations. We might have something here, so let's just keep it for now. So mod cover, I'm going to keep it as it was. Team workshop ID could be deleted. README, that doesn't matter right now. Let's just delete that. Yeah, artwork also not necessary, so we cleaned it up. Only the code will be here, and libraries and translations and mod info and mod cover. So let's go ahead. First delete the library content, maybe delete the object folder. It's gonna create itself anyway. Yeah, code. We're gonna delete example mod component, and we're gonna delete the example overlay UI because these will not be used. Let's delete the readme as well. Keep it minimal. So this example mod system, we're going to rename that to Firestarter system. And what do we do here in the Firestarter system? Let's change the namespace to Firestarter. I would say .mod.firestarter, and we don't really need to have a system here, but let's keep it consistent. So Firestarter system. It is going to be a game system. It will not be an overlay provider, and we will not save or load anything. It's going to be very simple, which means that we need less things to do. We need a system ID. Yeah, we need a system ID. We are gonna skip that in sandbox, I guess. We want to have this. Create a new Firestarter system. We will need the state for sure. Yeah, we don't have overlays, so let's just get rid of these. We don't have the UI. We don't have any false variables here. We don't care about them. On initialize, on load save. I think on areas init is the thing that we will need. On toggle overlay, since we don't have overlays, this will go away. I'm using the example mod system that I took off the mod template. You can find the mod template somewhere there. Yeah, or down in the description. Right, unload save. We don't need that because it's not going to be savable. No, wait, sorry, that's not it. This is where we are starting to listen on tick. And when we set the state. Actually, we don't have to set the state because the game system itself sets the state into a variable called s. So we don't really have to have this s thing, the state thing. And yeah, we're not going to listen on this load save event at all. We're going to only listen to on areas initialized. So when areas are initialized, we will want to begin starting fires. And we're going to have this on tick asynchronous, which is not really asynchronous. That's why Visual Studio is complaining about things here. But this is all we need to do. And yeah, we don't need the save and load code. So it's a very small 50 lines of code with some comments here. Small class. And on tick async, what do we want to do? So first of all, we want to have like the last time when we have started a fire. So let's do like private long. Actually, no. Let's do the next fire tick. So if it's 0, well, what are we going to do? If next fire tick is 0, we want to set it to ticks plus what? So if we want to set a fire every hour, we can use constants ticks per hour. Right? As simple as that. What happens if next fire tick is already set and we receive this method call? We probably want to just leave, right? So we have to do maybe before this. If ticks is less than next fire tick, we're just going to return, do nothing. Now, if next fire tick is 0, we are doing that and also returning. So if we're here, it means that's time to start fire. Now, let's say that we will only start fires on certain devices. So we're going to find a list of devices and we will start some of them on fire. Or should we just start on fire anything that is in an oxygenated area to make it more interesting? Let's do it with the oxygenated area. So if we have this S class, which is the short for system. It's actually a variable. It's a game state. Sorry, not system. So this game state has a thing called components, and then we can do things like all by type, and then there is a component called flammable component. Yeah, flammable component. So all by type will return all the flammable components that are in the game. So we can do our all flammables equals this. And then we just need to pick one at random. And then maybe only the one that is in an oxygenated area. So we're gonna do what? We're gonna no, to make it simple, let's not check for oxygen. We're gonna make it simple. So target will be RNG, which is the random generator class, which you can find in KL randomness. And U from is the unseeded from, Or we could do a seeded random generation. If we go to S, we can do srng, and then from. That's the same thing basically, but if we do all flammables, yeah, we get one flammable. So this is our poor target, and all we do now is target. Yeah, now there's a catch here. Target is going to be an I component, so we have to cast it. So if target is flammable component F, likely it will be, because we got it through the sol by type, but who knows. So let's be safe. Start or set on fire. Yeah, set on fire. Propagate if inactive. Let's set this to true. It's already true. And yeah, I think that's all. We could also, once we set something on fire, we could do entity utils, camera focus on, and we could pass the f.entity, so we could also hover the camera over the thing that got on fire. And now if we would just run this, if we would compile this mod and run it, we'd also need this. As you can see, 65 lines of code, 64 lines of code, almost nothing here. And every hour we will start a fire. Oh wait, one more thing. We must do, the next fire tick must be set, and not just here, but also here, right? Because if we got through here, if we started the fire, maybe after. When we're done starting the fire, we want to set the next fire tick to like current ticks plus 1 hour. It's a bit of code duplication here. I think we could write this like in a one-liner. I think... yeah, I think we could do this as a one-liner. We could just set this and... no. Well, we could technically just do this. But then we would always start something on fire on the first tick right after load. I don't think that's nice, so let's just keep it as it was here. Yeah, it's not that bad. Shall we try this and see how it works? That would be fun, right? How much time did we take to write this down? I didn't see the time. Did I start recording? Oh, I'll figure it out later. I think I'm recording. Yeah, I am. As you can see, I'm very prepared for this, for all these series. Professional content creator, right? Yeah, and to compile it and to run it, all we have to do is press F5. Build succeeded. There is one little issue though. Let me open up the folder here. If we go to libraries, it says Stardeus mod template. This is because, so let me make it proper. This is because we had to also go into, and it says here Stardeus mod template was created. We have to go to our mod info, no, not mod info, VS Code directory in mod CS project, and here we need to change this assembly name. So let's call this Firestarter. And root namespace, let's make it Firestarter mod or something. Yeah, that doesn't matter really. It should just match this. No, mod Firestarter. Yeah, so it should probably match this. Although it will still compile. Mod Firestarter. Yeah, that's all we needed to do. And also, if you watch the first video about how to do compiled DLL files, you'll know that you'll have to change this to work on your system. So you have to go, although the line has changed. Last time it was like line 16 or 30, and now it's 45. Oh, and we probably don't need this. Yeah, we don't need this. We don't need that for sure. That was my experiments. So yeah, there will be this star.dll, and you have to just make sure that it loads with your stuff. And let's hit F5 again to compile it. Oh, I hit F12. I don't know why. F5. Now, libraries, Firestarter DLL. That is good. And if we go to mods, we can see there's this Firestarter mod, which just starts fires randomly. You should probably change this Stardeus mod template image, especially if you want to upload it to Steam. So now if we continue the game, and I'm just going to run the clock at high speed and just relax and sit back. Oh, look, something got on fire. It was a floor tile. It was extinguished. Let's just wait 1 more hour. Although the clock has been throttled due to the fire here, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit. But you see that this works, although it grabs stuff like floors, which is not really cool. So how about we make it a bit more interesting? Yeah, let's make it a bit more interesting. So we're gonna save and exit, and let's add a bit more functionality. Just one more little adjustment. So Firestarter system. Instead of getting all by type, we're going to do maybe all matching or first matching. If we find the first matching, it will be fast, but it will always be the same first item. Yeah, it will, then some poor thing will always be the first thing. So we could just do this with this all flammables right now. So instead of doing random from, we're gonna do, yeah, we're gonna do something else. We want to, technically we want to filter this. We want to filter this. We're gonna get all by type. And it's a very bad idea to use something like link in the game if you're running it frequently. So I'm not going to be using link for this one. I will just do a simple like for each f in all flammables. We will skip a bunch of stuff. So if flammable entity definition layer ID equals world layer floor, actually wall as well. So we could do, there's floors, then there's walls, and then there's objects, and then there's free entities. So free entities is like humans and robots and food items and all that. And the thing here is that layer ID is probably going to be a number. Yeah, so we can do greater than walls. So all, if, why is F closing scope? Oh, it's used later, so let's call this flammable. Yeah, so flammable entity, if it's greater than walls, or actually if we are gonna do this like less than objects, we could just continue to skip that item. And if we're still here, we don't want to get the first one, right? We want to get something else. Yeah, so if, well, we could do one thing I use from time to time. So let's have a private read-only list of flammable component candidates. And we're gonna make it so that every time we are creating the list of that thing, every time we're creating the flammable list here, well, not creating, when we're getting all the flammables, we're gonna do candidates clear. Well, we're always going to reuse this instead of creating a new list, because new, you should avoid new in mods, because new creates garbage, and we don't like garbage over here. So candidates clear, we'll just clear the list, and then if flammable entity definition is greater, then we could actually also check for oxygen right now. So let's do if how do we check for oxygen? Area system is going to be S system areas. But if in case you're writing your own system and you want to get it, you could also do something like get and area system. But yeah, why is it not working? Oh, it wants an ID, so area system ID. Yeah, so that could also work, but for my convenience, I have added some, for frequently used systems, I have these convenience properties, convenience fields. So area system can be retrieved like that. So if area at, wait, we need oxygen on the area. But area check is simpler. So if area at, no, oxygen check is simpler. Ignore what I said just now. If flammable, no, state oxygen get at flammable position, okay, we get position entity dot position index. So yeah, we get this, and it will return a float. So we want that this float would be greater than const min oxygen or fire in temperature. No, min oxygen I think will be fine. Min oxygen will be a value that, yeah, it's like 0.05. That's like suffocation line or something like that. So if this is greater, then we are doing candidates add a flammable as flammable component, because it's I component at this point. And finally, we're gonna do like if of course candidates could be blank at this state. So if candidates count is 0, we return. If not, we're gonna take a random from candidates, and then target is already a flammable, and we just set it on fire. Now we focus on target entity, and then we set the next ticks. But I think we should also set the next ticks regardless if we found the candidate or not, because we don't want to like do this every frame and like loop through all the flammables every tick if we didn't find anything, which would be very inefficient. So always return early when possible. Always set this guard for the ticks early. Yeah, so now it's 75 lines of code, a little longer, but let's see how it works. F5 to compile and run it. Yeah, if we continue an existing game, there will be surely some oxygen in there. And all we need to do right now is just, again, let it run. There we go. There we go. We have a fire. Although I can see there's a problem that we set on fire. I think that is not built yet. So let's actually filter the unbuilt structures as well here. So when we're doing this for each loop, we could do if flammable is not constructed, continue. And this might be a simpler check, so let's put the simplest check above the heavier checks. Also, there's this thing where something may be destroyed or inactive. So its entity is active. So if it's not active, we can continue as well, just in case. But actually, I don't think that there will be any inactive flammables in all byte type. Or at least there shouldn't be. Yeah, there shouldn't be. Let's just not have that then. Okay, so let's try this one more time then. And this will be the final time, the final attempt. I think I'm pretty happy with this mod. So the next thing I will do is... I have to press F5, yeah. The next thing I will do, I'll just put it on GitHub, and I'm gonna put the link somewhere here and down below in the description, so you can download the project and see what I have in there. And then you can create your own fire starting mod, or at least like use it for inspiration to create something else that will be much more fun than this nonsense. But that's just an example of how easy it is to create a mod that does something with the game logic and plugs into the internals, plugs into the game clock, and executes some stuff. Where's my fire? Why is nothing burning? Always when you're checking if your mod works, hit the tilde key to get the console. If there will be errors here regarding some loading of the DLL, it's probably going to be your mod, and that could be the reason why things don't work. So why they don't work right now? Likely we haven't found a candidate. I think it would be a good time to show you how to debug it a bit. So of course you could try to attach the debugger to the running instance and somehow do it from Visual Studio maybe, or whatever, with a decompiler. But there's a very trivial way. If not is constructed, continue. Yeah, the trivial way would be, let's say, we're assuming that there's 0 candidates, right? We could do dwarn 0 Firestarter candidates. And then here we could do setting on fire target. And let's compile this again and see what we get. Again, hitting the tilde key. Nothing happens yet, but every time you hit tilde key, the game will pause. Let's keep that in mind. And then there's another mod here, this one. Example mod, which produces these tick async things, which are a little annoying. Looks like there is some issue here. I think I broke it the last time I changed something. Oh, there's a null reference. Okay, so this null reference is going to be the reason why we are not having our flames. So yeah, the good question is where this is coming from, because you're not going to get the stack trace. Yeah, you're not gonna get the stack trace. So it could be anywhere. But we could just, for now, although try catch is actually very expensive, but we could just do this for now. So this is how I would debug a system that I don't have code and like stack trace for. Very simple way. Just do like int stage 0, and then we do stage 1 after the first. It's lame, I know. Stage 2 after this, and finally stage 3. Well, actually it will not. Yeah, it will either crash on stage 1 or on stage 2. If it crashes on stage 0, it's going to crash here. If it crashes on stage 1, it's crashing here. Otherwise, it's crashing here. So in catch, we could do log exception, and say set on fire crashed for 0 in step and stage 1, and then let's print flammable.entity and the stage. And this will let us know what's up, and also the for each loop will continue, so someone will still get on fire. I'm not leaving until something burns. Although this video is probably much longer than I anticipated, but what can we do? Yeah, really, how long is it taking? I have no idea. There's no timer anywhere. Anyway. Professional content creator. Yeah, so this time, if we let it run, hopefully we'll see the fire somewhere. There we go. There we go. There's our fire. But did we get any errors? I don't think so. This time we were lucky. Yeah. So if there will be an error, you'll get it. But don't ship code like this. Figure out where the errors are coming from, but don't ship things with try catch and a loop and a on tick, because this will just make the game run horrible when you have a lot of mods. And then, yeah, then people will say that the mod is not great because it makes things slow. So performance is always a huge target. Always a huge target. So yeah, that's all. I think I'm just going to now wrap it up and go push this code to the source control, and you'll see how to make your own. Yeah, how to make your own little Firestarter mod in Stardeus. So thank you for playing the game. Thank you for enjoying the mod creation process here with me. I hope we're gonna have some fun making new mods for Stardeus, and see you in the next video.